this is Nnamdi and Loreena. We're about out. Well, I'm in the UK and Loreena is out in Canada.
Your name is Nnamdi?
Nnamdi, yes. So you came. We spoke when you had your England top, and we talked about when you performed Children of Africa in Nigeria. But this was pre. Um, it was just before you got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh,
And this is Loreena. Loreena, your turn. Where you're at?
oh,
Yes, I'm in Montreal, Canada. So I think you guys came here, I think in 2016 to our jazz festival.
yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
We did that, and we also did it again with Stevie Wonder. We've been to Montreal in the last maybe 10 years or 15 years, about 2 or 3 different times. We came through with Van Halen too.
Oh, wow.
We've been to Montreal quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
remember the jazz festival. That was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we first have to congratulate you on officially being inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you very much.
How was the night itself? Because I've seen a video of you guys on stage and performing. What was it like for you after all these years and all the hard work you put in as a band and a group?
Well, it was a great night for us, because some of the interviews leading up to that, I had said that the fact that I was born in Youngstown, Ohio, so Cleveland was right around the corner. I said, I've been in this business for 60 years. I said, I toured with Elton John, been on shows with Elton John, Rod Stewart, Dire Straits, Dave Matthews, Van Halen. I said, isn't that rock and roll? They said, yeah. I said, well, when y'all gonna give us some love? It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Long story short, it finally happened, and I'm happy about it.
Oh man, I mean, and I think for us, for our culture, the more we invented rock and roll. When you think of Little Richie and co, and it almost feels like it's been taken away from us. So the more of you guys that come into it, it then rebalances what was started.
That is a blessing. That is a blessing. It's finally coming around,
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
on stage when you perform, like how many of the founding original members would you say were on stage with you that night? Because I know you had lots of background singers and lots of instrument musicians and everybody, but who are joining now. But when you look back 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I mean, how many of you were actually on stage?
None of my original members, all my members have passed. I'm the last man standing as far as the original 7. Now on that stage, there was guys who've been with me for about 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, but the original members are all gone.
Wow, my goodness. And then from when you were making those big hits, it was just yourself and JT. That's where the only two that were Cherish and Ladies Night and
Yeah. Well, JT with me on that, but he wasn't original, but he did a lot of our big hits in the 80s. We did a lot of songs together, with JT. So it was great to say I have him back for that time period.
yes, yes. I mean, does that mean are you guys any new tours planned now that you've been inducted? I mean, what's the plan? Or is it now time to rest?
Well, we worked pretty much last year.
Yes.
We rested this month of April. Excuse me, not April. We rested this month of January. We're going back out this year. We're doing another about 3 weeks in Europe. We did 3 weeks in Europe last year. Went all through Spain. We played Morocco. We played North Sea Jazz Festival. We played the Curacao Jazz Festival. So we were very busy in 2025. And we're getting busy again in 2026.
Wow.
We're back to Europe around July, August. We're going to do, we're talking about maybe 4 shows in South America, in Argentina, Colombia, Chile, Uruguay. We're also going to Sicily, Las Palmas, and we're doing we're doing big festivals again in Europe, Switzerland, Italy.
Wow.
So we're staying pretty busy.
Go ahead, Loreena.
Wow, another fun fact or something that I thought it was really cool about Kool and the Gang is that you guys, well, this might be disputed by James Brown, but you guys are the most sampled group ever.
Yeah, well, before James Brown passed, he said, Kool and the Gang is number two. I'm number one. I'm the number one sample band. You know, Questlove, who you guys know, he did the homework. He told me that we have been sampled 1,800 times. I said, Quest, are you sure? 1,800 times? 1,800 samples? I should have somebody on Sample Patrol. Anyway, yes, that's a fact.
Is there one of the samples, because there's so many, I was looking into some of them. Of course, I didn't find all 1,800 of them, but there's quite a few popular samples that you do have. Do you have any that are your favorite?
Well, one is my good friend Will Smith. He took Summer Madness and came up with Summertime.
Oh,
Went platinum, went number one, got a platinum record, and then he went on to become a movie star.
yeah.
It was really a tribe called Quest. I mean, even Madonna had a little piece of one of our records, Janet Jackson's. It's been a lot. Yeah, that's your question.
Yeah, no, there's a lot, but Summertime is huge because that's a platinum record as well.
Yeah, Summertime, yeah. Summer Madness, Summertime, yeah.
Wow. And then for Summer Madness too, wasn't that on the B side?
Summer Madness on the B side of Spirit of the Boogie.
Okay.
Yeah, Spirit of the Boogie was a big song. So in Chicago, the DJ said, I want to flip this record to the B side. And he said, don't tell me who it is. He did that. And people said, oh, that was Herbie Hancock. They came with all kinds of jazz things. He said, no, this is Kool and the Gang. Summer Madness. Well, you know, Summer Madness was also in the Rocky movie. In the very beginning, Stallone is sitting down on the bed, getting ready to go out there and fight. And what came on? Summer Madness. So Summer Madness has been used for a whole lot. And also now, I know he's under a lot of pressure right now, but Diddy took Hollywood Swinging and came up with Bad Bad Girl, Bad Boy, with Mace.
Mace, yes.
That was Hollywood Swinging.
Wow.
And, yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's another big record, especially in hip hop. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and I always remember Pulp Fiction and Jungle Boogie being, anytime I hear the song and I think of the movie, I'm always hearing Jungle Boogie because the soundtrack was probably one of the greatest soundtracks of that era, and Jungle Boogie was one of the big songs that really told the story of the movie. Did Quentin come to you guys to talk about it, or did he have to get permission?
Quentin
Tarantino, yeah.
was a big fan.
Oh,
He had a lot to do with putting that record on Jungle Boogie in that movie.
yeah.
Of course, you know, the whole thing in that Chicago area was everything Kool and the Gang. And I think he met Samuel mentioned that in the movie. You know, everything.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's, I don't know, all of these songs, they're hits, but they live on forever because they're in movies and everything. But another thing too that I found really good is that Kool and the Gang members, you guys did a lot of mentorship for different artists. So I read your brother Ronald was instrumental in the Fugees early on, and that he's the one that suggested the remake of Killing Me Softly.
Yeah, he sure did. Lauryn Hill. See, Lauren had that voice, but she wanted to be hip hop in the beginning. And then eventually she said, well, my brother said, go, why don't you sing too? You can sing. And of course, you know, Lauren became what Lauren is today.
So did you guys also help with the album itself, the first album they had?
Well, just Kill Me Softly song. on that one, yeah. But I mean, but different members, like Wyclef was on one of my albums. He did "Who's Gonna Take the Weight." All those guys, you know, it was like family.
Amazing. And then also, did you guys also mentor Teddy Riley too, early on?
Yeah, my cousin Royal, Teddy, used to hang out with my cousin Royal. Royal saw something in Teddy, and then Teddy used to come to the studios. He was around ladies' night and all the stuff we were cutting. Teddy Riley was hanging out, checking it out. Of course, you know, Teddy Riley became Teddy Riley. You know, not, you know, but definitely he was family. Also, Telling Me Bad. I discovered I was doing a thing, my foundation called Kool to Say in School.
Mm.
And we did 38 shows with Coca-Cola, Cherry Coke, actually. And the thing about it, that the schools that we went to, you had to have a good attendance in school, good record attendance, and do course in academics as well. So when we went to Oklahoma City, Color Me Bad came and said, "Hey, we're doing good in school, but we want to sing something for you." So my cousin and I said, "Okay, let us hear you." And they did 4 acapella songs. And my other cousin in New York was the producer for Royal. We sent them to New York, and they started working on the album. Came "I Want to Sex You Up," and "I Want to Sex You Up" was in the New Jack City movie with at that time. What was the name?
Yeah, there was Myra Van Peebles' New Jack City film. Yes.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes was in it too. Yeah.
That's it. Can I forget him?
Oh, Spike Lee.
Yeah, so it's been, you know, a lot of that going on, you know, at that time.
And well, taking it back, because mentioning Teddy Riley, because he's such a like icon, he's legendary now in his field. Did you guys see anything in him back then when he was in the studio with you guys?
Of course, as he grew, yeah, of course. His keyboard playing, and but I think he learned a lot from us by being around us at the time. Before he got all his big hits, you know, come on, man. Bobby Brown and Michael Jackson, and it was the guy still is today.
Oh yeah, definitely. My other question for you, because you also have different businesses. So we see right here that you have your champagne, Le Kool. And how did that start? Was that from the Kool after parties that the group had after the concerts, or was champagne always in the plan for you to have that
Well,
outside
it was around concerts, but what happened was about almost 10 to 15 years ago. We were on tour in France, and we had about 20 sold out shows. So the promoter came to us. He said, "Listen, I'm doing something with the late Barry White lookalike, and also I'm doing something with the Bee Gees. He said, would you like to have champagne at your concert?" So I said, "Well, I don't think so, because people, they want T-shirts, caps, pictures. I don't think they want to buy a bottle of champagne." But I did say, "I want to get on the shelves." So he looked at me. He said, "You want to get on the what?" I said, "I want to get on the shelves. We're already in France. You prenez, like Dom Perignon, Bouvet Clicquot, Tom Renard." He said, "Good luck." I came up with this idea, and I met some people in Paris, and they introduced me to the Berthelot family, which is up at Ypres. And I came up with the name Le Kool because I wanted to have a slight French vibe to it. And we cut our deal with the Berthelot family. And then I wanted to come to America as a French, actually not as, it was a French champagne. Le Kool, like Eddie Murphy, when he came to America. Kool's coming to America. And we've been rolling it ever since. We're growing. We're not where we want to be just yet, but we're growing as a champagne.
Okay, and so where is it available now to purchase?
Well, our distributor in Jersey is Fedway. We have, right now we're in Miami, Florida. We're down in Florida. We're in Vegas. We have license in California that we have to rework this year. We're talking to some people in the Carolinas. Of course, we're on the Norwegian cruise ships. We're on the celebrity cruise ships. You know, we do a lot of those cool cruises. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to do this Soul Train cruise coming up
Wow.
next month. So on cruise ships, so it's growing.
I love that. I hope one day it's in Canada. So that's what
Oh,
I'm hoping.
we're looking at Canada now.
Oh, okay, good.
We're looking at distribution in Canada as well. Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna look up.
Montreal.
You're French, yeah, the French side.
Exactly. They have to accept it. It's Le Cool. It's French. So
Yeah, French. It comes from
exactly.
Ypernay, Reims, Champagne country.
Okay. So
France.
they have no choice but to get it here in Montreal. So I'm looking out for that. I can't wait. I love that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yes. And speaking of entrepreneurship too, besides Le Cool, you also have different businesses that you also run. So how did you get into the whole entrepreneur mindset and starting those businesses?
Well, the Cool Kids started with my wife. She passed about 8 years ago, bringing music back into the schools. And we have a foundation called the Cool Kids Foundation. That was the beginning because we wanted to put music back into the schools. And that's how Company Bad was discovered. From the school thing, it's cool to stay in school. That was the name of the tour. Throughout, we did it for 38 cities. One of them was a foundation for the kids and raising money for the kids. Of course, like I mentioned about the Cool Champagne, that came from touring over. And finally, I mean, I drank champagne, but I wasn't drinking my own. And then I got a Cool King coconut water. I have a coconut water now we're pushing this year. And that's coming from Sri Lanka. That's in India. And it's organic. And we're getting a lot of nice feedback on our coconut water as well. So we're pretty busy.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even know you had coconut water.
Just
That's
going out. You hear about this year.
okay. We'll hear about
And,
this year. So
you can Google it. You can go up. It's called CoolKingCoconut.com.
okay, definitely. I'm gonna check it out. And I know Nnamdi, you were mentioning basically at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know, how it was a celebration of your music. And I want to know because I'm from a younger generation, like how are you going to be keeping Kool and the Gang, the legacy alive? And what do you want people to most remember about the group?
Well, I mean, our tours have stepped up. We had a 3-year residency at Westgate out in Vegas. We just did Fountain Blue, and we're talking to them about it. As far as that is concerned, we have I have my own watch. For the fact, this is called the Alcatraz watch. We're getting ready to go on tour with the Kool Champagne and Alcatraz watch. The Kool and the Gang Rock the World tour all out this year.
There's so much to look out for. It's
It- yeah, but as Lorena was saying, what happens at the because we know we have groups like the Temptations. I mean, Otis is still performing, but and even
It was
Cameo.
saying too. The Temptations that I am with Kool and the Gang, original member. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was wondering with Kool and the Gang, and because I saw you on stage, and I'm like, wow, you did it because you're so musical as a group. It must take it can seem like a lot of it takes a toll. And how do you prepare the next generation so that Kool and the Gang doesn't, if you step back, that it can continue? Is that something that you also look at?
Well, that's kind of like what's happening now because we we brought our production out of Vegas on the road now. If you see our show, it's a fully produced show. So we get a lot of nice feedback with our production, you know, around the world. We were just in Cape Town with Earth, Wind and Fire Experience, the Al McKay's Earth, Wind and Fire. We were in Cape Town, we were in Joburg, We have worked in different markets, and we're going to do more Africa this year, especially now we got the United States of Africa. Why not? Ain't nothing but a celebration, is it?
Yeah, wow. It just the fact is, as you keep touring, you keep the legacy going. And I guess the other question was, and I think Lauren, you can ask this about the how if you were to introduce songs to a new generation, would you have, if you wanted me to discover either an album or songs, where would you point a new younger person, like a 10, 15-year-old that comes in? Would you just say these are the albums to look at, or
Well, we have released a couple albums with my members who have passed. One is my brother, Pursuit of Happiness. Uh, and George Brown, who also passed. People just want to have fun. And we do have a younger sound on those records, you know. So, but the younger people are looking at the old school.
mm,
They go back to, they want what the old school people did. Vinyl's coming back.
yeah,
Or
mm.
it's not good.
Yeah, that's true.
It's sets.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. It's tough because when you go and buy a CD or a vinyl, you actually own it, and then it's there's a relationship you have with your music. You're looking at who wrote what, who played on this, where was it recorded, and then you feel part of that. And the issue with streaming, as you said, is you don't own them. It's just out there. You can listen and move to the next.
And I think it's have hurt the record business to some degree because records are not really selling like they used to because of that. So
Mm.
you have to have a good show, a good act to work out there based on what you do.
Yeah.
Which is okay because that's old school to me. Old
Yeah.
school, getting them buses with the shallights and intruders and, get on the road. It's
Mm.
about the road now. It's about the delivery of your shows on the road around.
Mm.
But like I said, vinyl slowly coming back.
There definitely is. I saw the clip of LL Cool J being told about the sample of Tupac.
Yeah.
And because, I mean, the song was, I do remember the song from the All Eyes on Me album, but until they slowed it down and stuff, you wouldn't recognize it. I mean, do they come to you for clearance, or do
I'm
you?
gonna have to get clearance on that. But that was a good program in terms of that because I'm trying to think the guy that works with Cool J. Uh, he said, "Do you remember when the Sadness?" He said, "When the Sadness? What's that? I know some Sadness, but I don't know about Winter Sadness." And the guy played it. He slowed it down and he put Tupac in there.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. So that's a lot of education that people don't really know.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I mean, goodness, yeah, there's just so much of your music that was sampled, and and then and hip hop really pays tribute to that. But for those of us, it means that we go back to the original and actually be able to celebrate the original. I mean, Lorena, what's your, being of a younger generation, when you think of Kool and the Gang, what are the songs that stand out to you?
What
I
song
would,
that Vince? Oh, talk to ask her. Okay.
I was gonna ask her to you can realize as a younger generation, what does she think?
well, I think a lot of the hits, like Celebration, of course, I remember hearing that like outside as a kid, like being played everywhere. Ladies' Night, of course. Um, there's just so many, but like all the main hits, the singles that were put out. But I think going back to what you guys were saying with having a physical copy of an album, I think that's also why we don't know that some of the samples have been done because when you read the liner notes, you can
All
see
right.
they'll say like sample Kool and the Gang and everyone's name is there too, right? So
Yeah,
I think that's also what's getting lost.
that's true. That's why we became the most sampled band in hip hop. And being the most sampled band in hip hop makes us the most sampled band in the world because hip hop was dealt with more samples than anybody else.
Mm.
The R&B, rock, all those, it wasn't that much sampling going on. Although Madonna took a piece, one of our records producer on that one. And Janet Jackson, what I'm saying is that hip hop is really lived on samples. Look at Will Smith. He took what? Summer Madness and changed it to Summertime. Went platinum. Went #1. And then he went on to become a movie star. Hi, man.
Yeah, as I said, cause I remember that what he says is that he tried to rap like Rakim, so we focused on that, and every summer that's a big song. But as I said, we could do a show on all these big hip hop songs of the 90s and say, well, guess where it came from? And just go through those 1800 samples of Kool and the Gang and let's see. That would just be an amazing show on its own. But it shows you the legacy, and that's why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame couldn't have come. It should have come even much sooner, just to realize that actually, some of the bigger hits that's out there, they stole the roots from you guys.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're here now, and we're moving, and as I say, grooving, and we're getting ready to go out to do a major tour this year. This year now, we're into 2026. Yeah.
Goodness.
And speaking of touring too, another thing that I really appreciate about your group and other groups that are out around the same time is the stage presence. Like when you guys put on a show, it's a real show. So what goes into preparing to put on a performance or maybe even a tour?
Well, that's a part of it, to make sure that you're doing something, putting on a show, arranging the show, depending on where you're going. Our show might start off, with open sesame. But now, if you see our production, we got flying carpets, we got elephants. It's all on our production on the screens now. Different look, and the kids are looking, oh, yeah, because those elephants and stuff, but they be boogieing, look like they get ready to come out of the screen. So that's important, to put a production together, a visual as well. And that really started for us when we were in Vegas for 2 years. Yeah.
That's I think that's another element that I think a lot of newer artists can learn from, is the stage presence and how to put together a really great show from groups like Kool and the Gang. Because I feel like I love going to concerts, but I sometimes feel like that showmanship is missing.
Yeah. Well, you have some people, some are doing it. If you look at Beyonce or some of the other groups, they're bringing in the production big time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other groups that's doing it also. I see a lot of hip hop groups bringing their own production too.
Yeah.
And a lot of, DJs. Look at what the DJs are doing. I mean, they're making $200,000 or $300,000 a night on the turntable, but that production that they're doing, something else.
Yeah.
So, video is very important, I have to say.
Yeah. Even Bruno Mars, and I can see that he takes a lot of inspiration from the bands of the 70s and 60s. He's doing a lot of it. Yeah, Bruno Mars, yeah.
Absolutely. That's my guy, I like how he sounds like a young Kool again.
Yeah. He emulates the band of, like, because the fact that when I see yourselves and I see Earth, Wind and Fire doing it as well, using the horns, that is something that is very distinctive. The fact that you use the horns, and getting all the different instruments in there, but the fact that you do have a big horn section really makes it very distinctive for you guys. Yeah.
We gotta have a real horn section now.
Did you ever
Fire, somebody on that. Yeah.
Did you ever sing though? Did you ever sing on a track or?
No, I went background, but I mean, like Hollywood Swing and Jungle Boogie, that kind of thing.
Okay.
One singer came on JT joint, but see, our horn was our singers, because we kind of dominated in the 70s because of our horn section. So when you deal with Jungle Boogie or Hollywood Swinger and Destiny, who's gonna take the weight? Love and understanding. It goes on and on.
Yeah. And I recently just had to play Cherish because I still remember being in high school and that song with it's just so tender as well. And so you guys were able to dominate both with celebration kind of songs, but also the ballads, which is just the way you evolved because yourselves, the Isley Brothers, being able to evolve from the even being able to evolve from being during the heyday of the bands, then in the 80s where actually it was Cameo was another group that tried to evolve, like, okay, let's try
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Then like Too Hot.
Mm.
The real story of George Brown coming up. There was Joanna, a lot of others. That's more like on the other side of the fence. They call it the pop side.
Mm.
Joanna, oh wow, they know all the way pop. But it worked.
Yeah, well, yeah, it does because you talk about touring with Elton John, it's not it's by making your music more popular so that it reaches a wider audience. There's no person, no matter how old they are, no matter where they're part of the world, if you play Celebration, they're not going to say that's black music. They're going to say that's great music.
That's
Everyone
what it
plays
is.
Celebration.
That's right. It's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
have? If you look back though, just on your songs, would you, if you had five, and I know if I'd given notice, if you had five that you would say, these are the five that if the Library of Congress says, Rob, can you give us five songs that we can put in the Library of Congress? Which five songs would you nominate from your massive
I
catalog?
would say Hollywood Swing.
Okay.
That's definitely one.
Wow.
We tried to get to Hollywood, so we wrote a song about it. I would say, of course, Summer Madness. Um, uh, Ladies' Night,
Okay. Two more.
Celebration,
Celebration, one more.
Get Down on It.
Wow.
That's becoming very hot right now. Get Down
Wow.
on It is almost becoming like a small celebration. They're playing it in the games. They're playing from the NBA, NFL.
Mm,
You know,
goodness. And what do you when you're on tour, what song do you think gets the most reaction from the audience?
of course, celebration. But in the middle of our show, we go into the 70s. When we do the 70s, we get a great reaction. From funky stuff to jungle boogie to Hollywood swinging. There are parties there. People get up out of their chair. You hear those songs? That's the party. And that's the 70s. That was before having a lead singer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
A lot of other songs too, of course.
Mm. I can see Jungle Boogie being almost New Jack Swing, kind of the funk. That's what I love. New Jack Swing was heavily into that level of funk and get down, get down. Right now I can't remember. There's so many of Teddy's tracks that he sampled Jungle Boogie and others.
Talk about in the movie Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
I have a question because speaking of Jungle Boogie too, that like the bass line, how did you come up with that? Because that's something that's very popular that a lot of people, when they're practicing, they try to emulate that bass line in that song.
Well, the bass line started with the horn line. That's a horn
Mm.
line. The bass line, the same thing. And then when we come out of that, you go to the basic groove. But it was horn line and bass and drums.
And drums too. Okay.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, I know we've kept you up, but Loreena, what's some final questions for our esteemed guests before?
Well, of course, I'm looking forward to the Kool, and of course, the tour is coming up. So, how do we keep up with everything that's going on? Because there's so many different things that are happening. The foundation too. So, where do we go to keep up with everything that you have going on?
Well, you go on our website, coolandgang.com. For the champagne, cool.com, coconut.com, everything.com, coconut, to the jungle, or whatever. Something else we're doing this year, and we're working on it. We're coming out with our own mojito.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking forward to that too. I like mojitos.
That's a quiet sneaker. We're partnered with Emilio Estefan.
Wow.
He's my partner.
Oh,
How
okay.
did you two connect to make that happen?
Well, when he had the sound machine, well, Emilio played drums. We all kind of knew each other. Of course, he really grew, with Gloria and, you know,
Okay, okay, okay,
stuff, a lot of stuff in Miami.
okay. I was thinking of the Charlie Sheen, the Estefan from the Sheen family. So I forgot about Gloria Estefan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess just as we do wrap up, I guess it's um what would be one thing that you'd want um everyone to know about your appreciation for all the support that your fans have shown and loyalty they've shown over the years, especially as your Hall of Famers.
Well, I always thank my fans for supporting us for so many years. I mean, over 60 years. I would be a while after 60 years. Although I lost 7 of my original members,
Yeah,
well, 6 of them, 7. Our fans have always been there with us. And we take
yeah,
our supporting us for so many years.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's the important. I remember speaking to Brian Abrams of Calling Me Bad, interviewing him, and he spoke about how they were very shy young kids out of Oklahoma, and how you guys, took them to, took them to New York, and he there was a plan to try and make him go solo, but he had a troubled background, and he
Yeah,
felt that he couldn't leave his brothers. So he'd rather stay with the group than be on his own.
yeah. All those guys, great guys, Color Me Bad. In fact, we did the album. The reason why we called them Color Me Bad, because we didn't want people to know they're black, white, whatever. Just
Oh,
color me bad. And that's what they did.
okay. So it was very much
There wasn't
like,
no black thing, white thing. It was color me bad. Y'all
uh,
check it out. Let's get down.
oh, oh, man, that makes sense. That makes sense. Wow, wow. Okay. Well, we have to thank you for taking your time to speak with us this evening. It is an honor. Emily, Loreena, how would you say it has been speaking to a legend right now?
I mean, it's an honor to speak with you because, like I said, I've been listening to your music since I was a little kid. And so to grow up and then, meet someone who gave us all this music throughout all these decades and has gone and now giving us champagne, a mojito's coming up, and all these different things. So I love it, and I'm always here to support.
Well, thank you. Always thank my fans. Sometimes I might say I like loyalty. It brings in the royalty. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.